I want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. This might be the most important lesson you'll hear today. Once upon a time in a small African village, there was a boy named Ayo. Ayo was smart, curious, and full of dreams. Every day he walked miles just to sit under an old tree with a single book. That book opened his eyes to a world beyond his village, a world of wealth, ideas, and possibilities. But when he went to school, they never taught him how money really works. They told him to study hard, get good grades, and find a job. No one told him that a job alone would not make him free. No one told him that freedom is not given, it's built. One evening, as the sun was setting and the last rays of light touched his village, Ayo made himself a promise. He promised to learn the secrets they don't teach in school. He promised to understand how the rich get richer while others stay stuck. So he watched, he read, he listened. He learned that money is not just paper, it's a tool to buy back your time, to create opportunities to help your family and your people. He learned that poor people spend money to look rich, but the rich spend money to get richer. He learned that every coin he saved and invested could work for him day and night, and slowly he started a small business. He sold perfumes in the local market. He spoke to people. He understood their needs. He reinvested his profits. Little by little, his small table of perfumes became a stall. His stall became a shop. His shop became a company. Years passed and Ayo came back to the same tree where he once sat as a boy. He looked around and saw other young boys and girls sitting under that tree. He sat with them and shared the secret that school never told him. He told them that your true education starts when you decide to take responsibility for your own life. He told them that the real power is not in a diploma, but in the mind that dares to use it. He told them that the world will not hand you freedom. You have to fight for it, build it, and protect it. Tonight, I'm telling you the same thing. No matter where you are right now, in your room, on your bed, on a bus, or in your shop, remember this. You can start where you are with what you have. Read the books they never gave you in school. Ask the questions they never answered. Learn about money. Learn about people. Learn about yourself, because the real secret is simple. The world does not belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who dare to learn what others ignore and to do what others fear. Be like Ayo. Take the first step today. The secret is now yours. Use it, and one day you will sit under your own tree, telling your own story to a new generation ready to rise. Ayo's story did not stop under that old tree. When he shared his secret, some listened, but some laughed. They said his ideas were too big for people like them. They said the village would always be poor, that nothing would change. But Ayo did not argue. He just smiled because he knew what they did not know. He knew that the world only changes for those who believe it can. One of the boys who sat under that tree was called Kofi. Kofi was only 16, but his eyes were sharp and his questions deep. After Ayo spoke, Kofi could not sleep that night. He looked at his small house, the cracked walls, the empty kitchen, and he made himself a promise, just like Ayo did years ago. He would not wait for someone to rescue him. He would rescue himself. The next morning, while his friends played football, Kofi went to the market. He asked questions. He watched how traders bought and sold tomatoes, onions, soap. He realized something simple but powerful. Everything around him was an opportunity waiting for someone brave enough to take it. With the little money he saved from helping his uncle, Kofi bought a few bunches of bananas. He carried them on his head, walking from house to house under the hot sun. Some people slammed their doors, but some bought Kofi counted every coin, and at night he wrote in an old notebook how much he made, how much he spent, how much he would save. 1 week turned into 1 month. Soon he was selling not just bananas, but eggs and groundnuts. He saved enough to rent a small table in the market. Some laughed again. They said he was wasting his time, but Kofi remembered Ayo's words. The world will not hand you freedom, you have to build it months past. Kofi's small table became 2 tables, then 3. He hired his younger brother to help him. He taught him how to talk to customers, how to save every little profit, how to never waste a single coin. One evening, Kofi saw Ayo in the market. Ayo watched him from a distance, smiling with pride. When they spoke, Ayo told him, "This is how it starts. Small steps, small profits, small risks." Then he told Kofi a bigger secret. Money is only the beginning. Knowledge is what makes money grow faster. So Ayo gave Kofi 3 books, old dusty books that had changed his own life. Kofi read them every night by candlelight, the same way Ayo once did. He learned about buying and selling, about saving and investing. He learned about trust partnerships and how to treat people well. He learned that true wealth is not just about what you keep, but what you give back. As his business grew, Kofi started helping other boys like him. He showed them how to start with little, how to think bigger, how to stay honest. Some failed and gave up, but some stayed and learned. Years later, the village that once had nothing now had stalls, shops, and young people who believed in more. And every evening under that old tree, the next generation gathered. They told new stories, they shared new secrets, they dreamed new dreams, because once one person dares to break the chain, he gives permission for others to do the same. You who are listening to this, remember Ayo, remember Kofi, remember this tree and this promise. It is not enough to know the secret. You must use it. And when you rise, reach back and lift someone else with you. This is how we change our story, one mind, one risk, one dream at a time. Years passed, and the village that once had only dust and silence now buzzed with energy and hope. Young people who once sat idle now carried books, baskets, dreams, and ideas. Mothers who once worried about feeding their children now sold vegetables, soap, fabric, and saved coins for tomorrow. Fathers who once gave up on tomorrow now built small shops, farms, workshops with their sons and daughters. Kofi became a man respected, not because he was rich, but because he never forgot where he came from. Every week he returned to that old tree where Ayo first shared the secret. Under its wide branches, children gathered to listen to the man who once carried bananas on his head under the burning sun. He told them, "You must learn to see what others ignore. You must learn to believe when others doubt. You must stand when others sit and move when others wait." One evening, a small girl named Abena sat in the front row under the tree. She was 10. Her dress was torn, her feet dusty, but her eyes sparkled with questions. When Kofi finished speaking, Abena stayed behind. She looked at him and asked if it was true. Could a small girl really change her family's story? Too, Kofi looked at her and saw himself years ago. He knelt down and placed a small notebook in her hands. He said, "This is where you start. Write your dreams, your plans, your mistakes, your lessons. What you write today will become the map for your future." Abena took the notebook, hugged it tight, and ran home barefoot under the stars. That night she wrote her first dream. She wanted to sell bread before school, to save money for her mother. She wanted to buy more books. She wanted to learn everything they never taught in school. And so the story began again. Ayo taught Kofi, Kofi taught Abena, and Abena would teach someone else one day. This is how the secret lives on, not in classrooms, but in whispers under old trees, in crowded markets, in candlelit nights when the world sleeps and dreamers plan. So if you hear this story today, remember, you are also part of it. You are Ayo, you are Kofi, you are Abena. You have the power to break the chain of fear and poverty. You have the power to start with nothing but a dream and a notebook. You have the power to lift others as you rise. The world does not belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who write their own ending. So go write yours. And when you are ready, sit under your own tree and pass the secret on.